peace and blessings, family. Chef Joseph back at you again with another video. And yeah, it's another day. It's quite cold outside, actually. But just wanted to drop another video to you. Thank y'all for who's been watching. Thank you to the people who have been interacting. Appreciate it. And yeah, thank you very much for that. Today's video is going to be titled "To Remember to Always Protect Your Peace at All Costs." Protect your peace at all costs. Protect your peace at all costs. Why do you say that, Chef? You know, when I was in church years ago, I don't know some of y'all can identify with this, but you remember how the old saints get up in the middle of the floor and they be praising God in church and talk about, "I want peace. Thank you for peace, peace, peace." Me personally, I would say to myself, I was like, man, how serious? This is my personal thing inside of me. I was like, well, how can protect my peace? Like I was like, is it that serious? You know, I guess I didn't take it that serious, but I just kind of said it. You know, it was an internal thing. You know, I was like, you know, how serious could peace be? Well, now I've kind of lived life a little bit, and I've come to realize that they were right on point, protecting that peace. You know, and I definitely can see, I can understand now. I can understand, I can overstand, and I understand where they are. And as I look around, and probably as you look around, you realize there are so many people that are unraveling. And a lot of them have not leveled up to what they feel that they're supposed to be doing on the planet. Whether they don't know what it is they're supposed to be doing, or they just skated through life TikToking and Facebook, and you look up, you be like, man, the clock's been running out on me for all this time. What am I going to do? So then they see someone who's leveled up in their life. They see someone who is authentic. They see someone who has a level of peace and entrepreneurship, to y'all entrepreneurs, and whether you're entrepreneur or not, but they see that you've leveled up in your life. So they want to take their discontent and pour it over or let it spill over into your life. You know, whether it's coming in late to work, they know that you got policies, you know that no job allows, that they tell you and they're paying you to be here at a certain time. That's it, that's all. It's written in the policy. But because they know that um, you know what I'm saying, because they know that particular situation, that this is what you don't stand for. This is rule number one. Any job that you work, you know, this is what they do. They pay you to be there. They pay you to be there at a certain time. But then they want to challenge you on your standards. But then if you're not careful, their discontent, they're trying to spill that over into you, um, and it could alter your peace. You know that I do not allow anyone to disrupt my peace. You know, I may give you a couple of times, out of default. Maybe you don't know what you're talking about. Maybe this, maybe that. Maybe you don't quite understand. But just know, if it starts getting to a place where it affects your peace, you know what I'm saying? It's time to let it go. Take a look around your life and see who or what situations drains or threatens your peace. That's something to look at, because you know, if your peace is threatened, if you're not content and you're not at peace with yourself because of other people's discomforts coming into your life, that person got to go. You know what I'm saying? And as an entrepreneur, if you're going to be building something, or you know, especially into your creative space, if you're in your creative space, you know, you can't let things like that come into your space, because it's going to threaten your creativity. How are you going to create if people are around you, they're disrupting your peace? How can you do that? You know, I know in the line of work that I'm in and the things that I do, Man, there's so much hate and jealousy because I've climbed from the bottom all the way. You know what I'm saying? But the thing was, this has nothing to do with them. This was my life. This is what my course, had to, that's what was required of me if I wanted to get onto this particular trajectory. And yes, there are many times that people tried to disrupt my peace. But you know what else I've learned too? Cut them off. Cut them off. I've had people do things purposely to try to disrupt my operations and to disrupt my peace. And guess what? You won't be here. You won't be anywhere in my space. Not going to happen. I'm not going to allow you to do that. We're not going to allow you to do that. If you got problems, and I tell people, and even for some of you, if you have problems, deal with your problems. They're your problems. You can't expect everyone to fix your problems. These are the problems that you created, whether it's family situations, whether it's the job that you may be currently working in and being frustrated because you feel like you should be more further in life. These things can bring a level of discontent. They certainly can. But at the end of the day, you've made that choice. And you can't allow that to spill into someone else's life. You have to face your own stuff. You have to face what you created. And like my daddy would tell me, that's your little red wagon. Yeah, that's right. Or he would say, basically, that's your bed. You make your bed. You have to sleep in it. So I just want to definitely drop in to tell you, you need to protect your peace at all costs, especially if you're a creative person. I know in the season that I'm in now, I've made a major decision to protect my peace. When I look around at the talent pool, um, grown people who are, and there's no disrespect to anybody's shade or not throwing shade at anyone's age, but people haven't worked things out in their own life. And since they haven't worked these things out in their own life, they want that to spill over into you, into your life and what you got going on. And what's so sad is they'll try to paint it out like you the bad guy because they didn't work out their problems. And they'll turn around and put rumors out on you, things that are not true. Be careful what you listen to. Like my daddy told me, any dog that brings a bone will carry a bone. A dog that brings a bone will carry a bone. Let that one sink in for a second. Right. In other words, they carrying that bone about you to somebody and just know that same bone they dropped off, they can pick that same bone up and take it right back. See what I'm saying? That's why you got to be careful what you listen to. But I can tell you that I'm in a great space. I can tell you that healing was definitely required. When you go through high levels of business, engaging with customers, I'll just say business warfare. I'll call it business warfare. Um, Engaging with customers. I need ketchup. I need this. I'm just using it as an example. I need ketchup. You give them ketchup. Can I get 10 packs? You ain't spent but $5, but you want 10 packs of ketchup. See what I'm saying? You know, I've seen it on all levels. And so, but this is another reminder too, for the Christians out there or the religious folk. I'm a believer myself, but that's another conversation for a whole nother day. But I definitely believe in standing the principles of the Most High. Um, what we have to learn, and this is something you can take with you in your toolbox, that we do have, the spirit protectors, our God, God, however you want to word that, your angels, the Holy Spirit. Um, what I'm learning, and I have learned, is that we have to learn to put these things in between us. Because if we're fully engaged in, direct warfare with customers and stuff like that, or just people, we're taking on all those blows, man to man, woman to woman, just vice versa. We're taking on all of that weight, all of that spiritual or that exchange. But we have to learn to put the spirit in between that situation. We have to learn to put God in between that situation. We have to learn to put Allah in the middle of that situation. We have to learn to let the spirit stand for us, like shield us, seriously, like a shield. Because if you take on all of these things, it can definitely be a heavy burden to carry, and we have to allow God in the spirit realm to stand in between and as a buffer, if you will, in between us and those negative spirits or those negative energies. That way we don't take everything on physically, but definitely you have to protect your peace at all costs. That's all you have. You have to protect your peace. And especially if you're in a creative space, you're trying to write a book, you're trying to build a business, you're trying to, break the mold from your family, that type of thing, or build something. There's a whole lot of people, if you're not careful, that will come and try to spill over into your life because they're not happy, they're not content. There's a situation not too long ago, and the lady name, of course, I will not call it for the sake of confidentiality, but the letter starts with D. And she had a situation where she had 3 different children by this guy, and again, she showed videos of this, and not that I asked for any of that, but it was like those problems started coming to the environment. And because I am a person that likes, I like to listen to people. I try to be, if someone comes to me with some things, I'm not so hard that I won't listen, but just know I'm going to give you my clean advice. But what she showed me on that camera, man, that house was in chaos. And more than that, the children had to grow up into these type of things. The children, I'm talking about little babies, have to grow up and be in a certain level of dysfunction, and which is not healthy for them. And at the end of the day, even though she pressed on, but you can tell that, she's terribly unhappy. And then the situation happened where she thought that she can challenge the authority, the one who built everything, and want to bring that to spill that over into something that we had going on. And all I know is that when I was an employee, just like some of you may still be employees, which is nothing wrong with that. But if your boss, you don't challenge authority. If your boss tells you to sweep the floor, whatever, business related that is, you're not to challenge that. And I don't know where they get that from, but if they tell you certain things, this is what your orders are. They're paying you to do a job. And you challenging that, guess what? Center packing. That's it. That's all. And never look back. So protect your peace at all costs, family. Don't let people's discontent or their discomfort spill over into your life, because that's their problem. And I was talking to a business person, business colleague, not too long ago, and it's situations how people haven't leveled up. They go out in the streets, they blow their money, and then they don't have any money, and then they looking for us, or you, or whoever to fix that situation when they the one that did it. Sometime in life you can't save people, and this is something that you should take with you in your tool bag, or pack in your lunchbox. You can't save everybody, and even though you may be able to save them, you got to step back and let God deal with people. That's the next thing, because as long as we keep, I'll be sure. Rescue me. Y'all remember that song? Do you want to rescue me? Yeah, everybody want to be rescued, is what I'm saying. You can't rescue everybody. They have to learn the hard way. I remember when I was sleeping in shelters and stuff like that, I seen many laughing and joking and kiki ha ha. But guess what? Chef was in the corner. As soon as we had dinner, we were sleeping on mats this thin, yo. An inch and a half mats. I'm not playing. I would eat, and I would find me a corner where a plug at. And as soon as I ate, everybody sitting there laughing like they're at the Holiday Inn Hotel somewhere. I'm in the corner, researching on the tablet. Unfortunately, some of those same people are still in the same position, and they have a nerve to turn their nose at you because you decided to take charge of your life and do something with it. Don't let them disrupt your peace, family. ChefJoseph'sKickSauce.com. Oh, speaking of that, if you want to book me for a consultation, I just put something up on a page. If you are interested in any one-on-one consultations on how to level up, I've released a leveling up consultation, 1 hour consultations for you all, and just letting you know. So basically, what you would do if you're interested in any type of consultations on how to level up, you can actually cash at me. Basically, it's $100 actually for an hour, and but we'll talk about that later. But it's basically one-on-one consultations to help you figure out things in your life so you can get back on your track. But basically, I'll talk about that later. But it's the leveling up self-mastery one-on-one consultation, and that's going to be on the page. But you can always email me too if you're interested in this. You go to the website, and then you can actually go to the contact page, send a contact form, and then I'll get it, and then from there we can book a consultation because I don't want to see y'all crash out, and I want to see y'all get to the top of your life. But do not let people disrupt your peace. That's like right now. I'm shooting a video, and there are people behind me, right, that that are like making an extreme amount of noise. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's just I see the play, but and y'all can probably hear the play, in the background. But you know what? I'm not gonna let that disrupt my peace. Like the video, yo. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all on the next video. Peace.